do we transform the state of Hawaii that is illegal into something that's legal? And it can be done. I had 3 meetings with Mike McCartney on how to do that 3 years ago. He has a report of mine. And that's gonna go up soon on the blog to let everybody know there is a plan to fix the problem. And Jennifer knows that plan. So it doesn't mean everybody stop what they're doing and you have anarchy. It's just begin to comply, and there's a way to do it. That's the key. But what forces that are things such as Colonel Borsi asking the right questions with Puakuloa, Jennifer Ruggles asking the right question from Corporation Counsel Kamehameha. Now is where the people gotta start standing up and saying, you know what, I'm a war crime victim too, and I want this thing to be fixed, right? It's not grandstanding, it's not taking a political position, it's just saying this is my legal reality. Does that make sense? Okay. So, protected persons are important. And I've had meetings already with the International Committee of the Red Cross in Geneva, with Amnesty International in New York. Jennifer is going to follow up. But she needs to report to them something and get them involved so they can do their own investigations. That way this is not reliant upon Jennifer telling them what's going on. She's just alerting to them what's going on. And they have the mechanisms to come in. And if it's frivolous, as everybody says, hey, no worries then. If it ain't, you in trouble. Because one of the elements of a war crime, awareness of occupation, not belief in occupation, just awareness. And that's how Tadic was convicted. He knew that there was an armed conflict, he couldn't deny it, and he was occupying a portion of Bosnia, and the rules applied whether he liked it or not, right? So one thing that was also brought to the attention of Corporation Counsel Kamehameha in the second letter by Jennifer's attorney was a letter written by John Yu, Y-O-O. Anybody heard of John Yu? John Yu was part of what is called the infamous torture memos. Remember Abu Ghraib in Iraq? All the prisoners were strenuous, they were strenuous positions or whatever, right? Called enhanced interrogation techniques. What happened after the news broke, when the pictures were released, leaked out of the prison, which is an American prison, somebody also leaked a memo from the Department of Justice, basically authorizing the military to do enhanced interrogation, but didn't call it torture. And one of the main persons that wrote that from the Office of Legal Counsel, Department of Justice, was John Yu, Y-O-O. As soon as it was leaked, basically John Yu and the rest of the people in the Department of Justice became complicit in war crimes that were committed against those prisoners. Germany, Spain, and Russia started to initiate criminal investigations against American servicemen and those involved with the Department of Justice, including John Yu, for prosecution if they ever come through Germany or Spain or Russia. Then in 2014, this was 2012, 2014, the US Senate issues their report on CIA torture. As soon as that was released, now every country in Europe said any Bush administration tied to these memos will be arrested and apprehended for prosecution. Now I remember watching a CNN interview with Wolf Blitzer and Antonio Gonzalez, Antonio Gonzalez, the Attorney General under Bush, when this was all happening. And I remember Wolf Blitzer asked him, since the release of the report by the Senate, are you concerned about being apprehended for war crimes when you visit a country? He said, I don't see myself visiting North Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan. And then Wolf Blitzer fires back, I'm not talking about those countries, I'm talking about Switzerland, Germany, Italy, Great Britain. And he went, what? He said, they all issue reports, you're gonna get apprehended if you come through their territory. And he went, what? He didn't know. Basically, what Jennifer is trying to do is to make sure Camela Mello does not become the John Yoo of Hawaii.
Yes.
In stating the council members are not incurring criminal liability under federal law for continuing to legislate. That's why Jennifer is not swayed, also by advice of her counsel, is not swayed that Camela Mello clearly articulated she won't be incurring criminal liability. Right? So, Camela Mello, I think the guy Chun, I saw it on Big Island Video News.
Sorry.
He actually came out and told Camela Mello on the record, you're being set up, don't respond. I guess Chan, because he's an attorney. Now the fact that he told him not to respond, he just implicated himself in it.
Yes.
You see how sticky this gets?
Yeah.
That's why what I recommended to Jennifer, when people are going to get involved as protected persons, don't ad-lib. Don't say things outside of what you may not know. So, any questions so far before we get into